So we do a podcast that's focused on stress. Just to give you a little bit of background, we were having technical difficulties, so we don't have our podcast intro. But I'm a licensed professional counselor. I work with children, adolescents, and families who are dealing with either severe mental illness, past trauma, or just dealing with day-to-day stressors. And so I do that in several settings. I've worked in an inpatient psychiatric facility. I work in outpatient care, and I do consultation. And so I see myself as a stress expert, and I'm also married to another stress expert.
Yes, my name is Lemar. I'm a massage therapist. I own Life Touch Massage. I've been practicing massage for over 15 years. Massaged over 10,000 clients in my career's time. I don't know how many it is. But and one thing that I am blessed to have the ability to know people on an intimate level. So I have some of the same clients that have been coming to me for over 10 years. And I have a diverse group of clientele. My bachelor's is actually in child and family studies. So my wife wanted to do a podcast. And we was like, you know what, we're two stress experts. So let's come from that perspective. And when we interview people, when we talk to people, when we do our podcast, we think about and we talk about things, the normal things that people stress about in life. So it's called Living the Stress Life. So we teach you how to live through stressors in your life.
So today we are here with Melody and Martel Holt. They are the stars of Love and Marriage Huntsville on OWN Network, which is Oprah's network. And so they are on their season 2 tour. And so we want you to tell the audience who may not be familiar. Obviously, everybody's not familiar because Benny Mac was introducing us as the Holts. But these are the Holts right here. And so tell everybody a little bit about what your show is about, kind of what season 1 showed. And I know you guys are really geared up for season 2, so tell us what to expect for season 2.
Well, first, hey, Birmingham.
Hey.
You guys have been amazing to me this week. This is my 3rd time being in Birmingham this week, and I have absolutely had a blast. You guys have been so welcoming and just so loving. It's been great, so I'm glad to be back here today. And when I got here, it's so funny because I actually lives like 3 minutes from here. So when we got off on this exit, memories started coming back. I'm like, oh, I know where I am. So yeah, honestly, yes. So I'm definitely happy to be here. But as mentioned earlier, I'm Melody Holt. And I am one of the producers and cast members for the show Love and Marriage Huntsville that is on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And we are on season 2, which airs starting next Saturday at 8 Central Standard Time. We were actually the top viewed show for our time frame last season. Alabama, yeah. So we were the top viewed show for viewership last season, and we're looking forward to this season. And I'm an ex-educator turned entrepreneur, and I have 3 children, Mariah, Malia, and Martel. And I will let Martel kind of tell a little bit about herself.
She just mentioned that she has 3 kids, but we have 3 kids. And all of that is a stress by itself. But like Mel said, we're both ex-educators. I'm an ex-special ed teacher, and she taught English. But I feel that I've always been an entrepreneur. But the field that we're in, home building, development, things of that nature, in Huntsville, where Alabama we build houses. But I mean, that's what we do. Very simple. But that's us. So one thing I want to ask you all to do is actually download and subscribe Living the Podcast on your phones. We're on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, right? So please go to your phones and subscribe to Living the Podcast. And Living the Stress Life Podcast. Thank you, baby. And another thing I had to say this is that I was like, Rico came up and said, hey, you want to interview the host? I was like, yeah. So I love watching reality TV. So that's one of the things, like, I'm an entrepreneur, and I rarely get the chance to watch TV, but when I do, it's like reality TV because I love learning about people, right? Learning about the different lanes that people are in, and just, watching how they move throughout life. So I was very excited and I'm very nervous because if y'all haven't watched the show, Love and Marriage Huntsville, so I encourage you guys to watch it. If you don't have OWN, get your own app. You can watch it on the app. Follow the app. You can watch it on there as well. But yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into the podcast, and our podcast today focuses on love and marriage, of course, but it also focuses on business. Lemar and I are also a married couple who co-own a business, Life Touch Massage. I am not a massage therapist. Let me give that disclaimer again. I am a mental health therapist, so if you are looking to relieve some tension, I am not it, okay? We have the podcast. We also have 3 children who are 15, 13, and 11, and we have been married going on 15 years. Man, Life Touch Massage, you've had that business for how long? About as long as we've been married. And so, similar to you guys, we come up from a background, for all of you guys who don't watch the show, you know, Melody and Martel have talked about how they don't come from money. You started as educators, you've seen an opportunity, and your focus in becoming entrepreneurs was really to be able to leave something for your children. And we have families who are, you know, lower to middle income families, and so we are focusing on leaving something for our children and basically letting our sibling be there for them, right? But everybody knows it's stressful being married, right? We've been married for almost 15 years. We met in college. And working together just takes the stress to a whole nother level, right? So we want to really talk to you guys about and get some advice today about how you guys kind of navigate through being also business partners and yeah, it's real life. So we're going to kick off the first question. We're going to give the first question towards you, Martel. The first question is, we've struggled with gender roles and traditional gender roles in our relationship. And so one of the things we want to know about you and Melody's relationship is gender roles even a thing in your relationship? And if so, how have you guys navigated that? And if you guys do have gender roles in your relationship, did you find it difficult to define those roles and how you guys were kind of operating in the space?
So, I can't wait to hear this answer myself. I just had to say that. Okay.
Oh, I would definitely say that only gender role that we would have is me taking out the trash. She would don't take out trash. But as a whole, you know, we 50-50 everything. From the kids, taking care of the kids, to, I would say, even doing their hair now. Yeah. It's very difficult. It's very difficult because, we 50-50 everything, and I found that, or we found that to be very, very simple, opposed to splitting up everything. We have friends who's on the show as well, and they are very gender specific when it comes to their roles. But if it works for them, it works for them. But with us, you know, us 50-50 and everything. You know, if this needs to be done, I'll do it. If I'm not available, she'll do it. So it's nothing that in our household that she won't do and vice versa. I'll do anything. She cut grass, I cut grass. Well, where we live at, we don't cut the grass, but we used to. But I mean, cleaning the bathrooms. I mean, simple things. I mean, we split it up. I mean, I think that takes a lot of stress out of one another. When you don't have to do certain things. I got your back, you got mine. So that's how we live daily.
Recently, we talk all the time. Sometimes we have like very serious debates, or what he called argument, and I call he talk. One of the things that we found in our relationship is, you know, we recognize that there are some traditional gender roles. I don't take out trash no more. I actually just said that yesterday. Like, there was some trash left that the trash man didn't pick up, and Lemar said it's supposed to be in bags. And I was like, well, I don't know that, and I'm not taking responsibility for that. So y'all need to figure that out and how that trash will be picked up by the trash man, right? Because as a wife, I do a lot. But I think going into the relationship, we didn't recognize that there were some gender roles there. He still ain't learned how to do a ponytail for Martel. After the podcast, I want you to give him some notes on how to put my door back.
Just know when I pick them up
gender roles. A lot of times, gender roles that come in as a traditional is when, you know, you grow up in a mother-dad household, you know? But, you know, I was raised single parent, a mom, so it's like I never saw that. So me getting married, I really didn't know what to expect. So it's like, you know, I just wanted to be a good man, a good father, and take it on just like that. So, you know, I didn't have anything to really look up to, per se, in terms of gender roles.
So I want to just say something right quick. For all those people who are at the bar, I love that y'all are enjoying the event, but it's making it real hard for us to hear the Holts over here. So please converse, have fun, but just know that with us trying to interview them, I mean, their season 2 series is very hard to hear over here. Sorry.
Yeah, I was doing. I got you.
So, going back to the whole gender roles question, that's something that I struggle with. And that kind of leads me to this question. Melody, you said on a recent interview that asked you about work-life balance. One of the things that we have passionate discussions about all the time is work-life balance. Because I'm like, I'm in it to win it. In my head, I'm like, I'm trying my best to kids, and I'm showing them through modeling about how to own a business, how to, you know, do this and provide, right? But she tells me that I have no balance. And I don't really believe, and you said something, it stuck with me, because I was like, you know, there is no, I said, see, Melody said there is no work-life balance. There's no thing, no such thing as work-life balance. We take care of what needs to be taken care of and then keep going.
Well, you know, another part of my career is I do motivational speaking. And I can remember when I first launched that, you know, part, I used to speak a lot about balance, right? I used to talk about balance in terms of spirituality, mentality, physical, all of that. And what I learned is after I had given so many speeches preaching balance, I realized in my own life, wait a minute, there's really no such thing as balance. When I think about it, I'm never really balanced. There's always a choice that has to be made and something that gets priority. So if my child gets sick today, then something else may have to go lacking while I now go pick her or him up from school, right? I may have planned to have a spa day, but if Martel is not feeling well or has to go out of town on a job, then that has changed up for me. So now do I have to feel like, oh, I'm all of a sudden out of balance? No, it's about prioritizing. And I think that overall, what I really learned was that whenever you realize what has to be taken care of in order to make that day successful, and you put that in place, then you're naturally handling everything you need to handle in the right way that it's supposed to be handled, right? So I don't preach balance anymore. I preach prioritizing your life. So you won that when it comes to me. But no, seriously, I still though do believe in making sure that you are taking care of yourself when it comes to self-care. I'm a big advocate of massage therapy, so I loved when I learned that you guys do that. Because that's one of my self-care routines, is making sure that I'm taking the time for my mind and my body to get on the same page. So massage therapy is big for me. I'm in a position to do everything that I'm called to do, and nothing's hindering me back from that, you know? So, yeah, that's my answer. No balance. We're going to prioritize.
What about you, Martel? Do you feel like there is a such thing as work-life balance? You wouldn't be? I think for me, I didn't hear you.
I said you work and you balance the rest.
Yes. He said you work and then you balance the rest. I think for me, it's just about making sure that you are prioritizing. I think for us, in our relationship, the struggle has been is that I'm type A++. So if any of you have ever listened to the podcast, I am a type A person, right? Like I go to bed making a checklist at night. Like tomorrow I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna cook breakfast. That's gonna be about 5:30 and 6:30. We're gonna walk out the house. I'm gonna drop the kids off at school. I'm at this meeting. So I literally go to bed making this checklist, right? And so if you have a personality such as that, where you have to have order in order to feel stable, in order to feel calm, it really throws you off when you have unexpected things come up, right? But my focus in our relationship has been, you know, I can run circles around him because I'm type A. Like, the time that it takes for him to complete one task, I can complete like 6. But the reality is, I also find myself more tired than he is. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that has been one of the stressors for us in going to another level in our business. I'm not a full-time business owner. I'm a co-owner. He's enmeshed in the business full-time, but I still work a full-time job. Yeah, we've been listening to y'all. 9 to 5 entrepreneur. We get in the book. I tried to download it and I found I couldn't get it in ebook. But they have a book called 9 to 5 Entrepreneur, right? And so I'm the 9 to 5 entrepreneur. He's not. He's the 24-hour entrepreneur, right? And so I think the struggle for us in finding work-life balance is that sometimes I have to take all the slack at the house. And so your answer of there is no balance was kind of giving him a win. But you know what? I'll take that L. I'll take that L. One of the other questions we had, yes, he's going to pull it. One of the other questions I had is about the reality show. I really wanted to know where the idea came from for you guys to do a reality show. And do you feel like, we're talking about stress here, that having a reality show, inviting people into not only your personal lives, but into your business life, has contributed any type of stress into your life, and how are you guys dealing with it? And I'm going to start with Martel, and then I'm going to pass it on, because Melody's like me, she's the talker in the relationship.
Yeah, and I'm not. This is out of my comfort zone right now, too. I don't want to talk real in public. What was that question again?
So whose idea was it?
Oh, when it comes to the reality show, I guess years ago, I would say me. I saw a lot in Melody. She loves TV. She's always been a part of that life. And it was like a question. I said, what you want to do in life? You know, she mentioned, I want to be on TV. Anything to do with TV, she wanted to do it. So it's like, we did research and things like that. We started reaching out to people. One of our friends who produced of Atlanta Housewives. And so got his information. We spent like, $300, $400 or something like that for a consultation. And this was about 4 years ago. We got the consultation, went to Atlanta, and met with him, and he loved us. At that time, he was like, "You guys want to go to Atlanta Housewives?" I'm like, "Hell no, I want to keep my wife."
Yeah, that's what I said at that time. Hell no, I want to keep my wife. But look at that, we don't live there in Huntsville if y'all ain't watched, so I'll let y'all determine if you kept that mentality.
I did. I got you still. All right. Hey, but the thing is, so we put in the work to really get this show. Based on what Melody wanted to do. So it was, let's see. I would say I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Oh.
Whose idea was it has that create stress inviting people into your...
Yeah. I would say that it has created stress inviting people in, because I've always been the person, like, I don't want people knowing all my business. And like, even on the show, I'm telling Melody, I know that we're going through some crazy things right now, but you don't got to put everything on this show. But it's a reality show, so we really had to put everything out there. And I was cool with it, but to this day, it's very stressful, because we allow the cameras to see everything that we go through. So yeah, it's pretty tough.
So in fact, I'll answer first about the reality show, and everything he said is accurate. And one thing I like to express and make sure people understand is that we had that consultation 4 years before it was into fruition. The importance of that is understanding that when you want something to happen immediately, it doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately. It's all about it happening when it's God's timing for it to happen. And you can't rush God's timing. So we paid that $400 or $500 consultation fee, but we didn't get a contract until 4 years later. Now, we didn't sit around waiting those 4 years like, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Is it going to happen? We were constantly texting Carlos, sending him pictures, selling him Huntsville, selling him the Holts brand, showing him we're at this event, we're at that event, this is what's going on in Alabama, this is what's happening in Huntsville, right? And so then we put together what's called a sizzle, which is kind of a mini clip of an idea of what your show would be like. He watched it. It was Martel, myself, our children, and some of our workers. And he called that day when he got that, and he said, look, I want to get you guys your show. I'm sending over the contract. Give me a year to get your show sold. Within that time frame, he reached out to us and said, hey, you know, ensembles are quicker to sell. Do you have any friends you may want to bring along? And that is how you see the other two Scott families a part of the show, because we were all hanging very, very closely at that time. And so we were like, oh yeah, we got some people who can. And you know, here we are now, you know, just finished filming season 2 and already in discussion about season 3. So it's really about, I guess I would say, sticking to your dream. Knowing what you want to do and working hard to get there and not thinking things happen overnight. It happens when it's supposed to happen. And in regards to, you know, the stress of being on a show, what I like to tell people, because the question I get a lot is, especially with everything we're going through, people are like, do you feel like the show, you know, messed up your marriage? Or do you feel like the show did this to your relationship? And I tell people all the time, the cameras are just there capturing what was already happening. It's not something that all of a sudden start happening. People think, oh, you got fame, power now, people know who you are, so all these things are about to start happening. No, it was already going on, now y'all are just seeing it, you know, on the national level. So it can be stressful. What we try to do for the most part, I think, is stay true to us and stay true to who we are and stay true to what we believe in. And anything else doesn't matter. Staying true to who you are.
Well, we want to take this time to say thank you to the Holts. Everybody give the Holts a round of applause. Yes. We only had 20 minutes, and we wish we had more.
So before we leave, I want to make sure that you guys remember their show is Love and Marriage Huntsville on OWN Network, OWN, that's Oprah's network, and they have season 2 coming up. If you have not watched it, I really think you should watch it. I think it, like she said, it gives a real glimpse, as somebody couldn't give you a glimpse into the show. And me and Lemar decided we were going to stay away from the drama. And if you guys want to come on the podcast and talk about some of the things a little bit more intimately that you guys are going through for season 2, I watched a little clip of it and I'm really excited about it. I would love for you guys to do that. Also, I'm going to let Lemar close us out with telling you where you can find Living the Stress Life podcast.
So, if you haven't subscribed already, please download and subscribe Living the Stress Life. You can also find us on Facebook, Living the Stress Life. What else? Instagram, living_the_stress with an ED life. All right? Thank you.
And really quickly, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Melody S. Holt. Martel is on both of those as well, Martel Holt. As they mentioned, we do have actually two books that we dropped this year. One is called The 9 to 5 Entrepreneur, 12 Questions to Consider Before Taking the Leap. So if you're currently working a 9 to 5 and have your side going all in, I highly recommend you get this book. There's some exercises in there to prepare you. And again, we've been sole entrepreneurs for 10 years. So we've been in the game a long time. And through that, we've had a lot of falls, we had a lot of stumbles, we learned a lot of stuff. And a lot of times you hear people say, oh, nobody told me or I didn't know. This book changes that. We're telling you and we're letting you know before you take that leap. And then we have another book, which is what actually put us into a multi-million-dollar business that we now have, which was the industry of property preservation. And this pretty much give you information about this billion-dollar industry that most people who look like us know nothing about. So it's all about passing the knowledge and empowering each other. So I would highly recommend you guys go check those out, www.holtin, as in Nancy, Holt.com. $16.99, $9.99, and go ahead and let's make 2020 the year of making millionaires.
All right, guys, so that's it. So until next time, live your best life.
Living through your stress life.